So how will the new equipment, how will I integrate that into my program now, Doc?
Well, the new equipment is, in fact, Melissa, we were talking last night for quite a while about it because I mean we strategize a lot, and you know we're looking at it, and when I saw it, I went, that is us. I mean, it's not like we're changing everything. We're getting down to the nitty gritty of who we are. If you've seen our tagline, reuniting dreams with the youth to live them, and the Pedabon system is the ultimate in longevity for the structure. Well, this stuff gets heavy into balance and cognition, and particularly putting those two together because they are highly related, and usually we do them separately. And I try to do a few things, like I've got people on the oscillator and they're doing visual games and stuff. This is so much more integrated, where I can work both of them at the same time. You're doing a game, like let's say you're counting numbers by 5, 10, 15, and you happen to touch the screen, alternating hands as you're doing it as fast as you can, but you're also balanced. And if you go off balance, the screen goes white. And then once you restore your balance, the game starts again. So it forces you to have to put those two things together in a way I haven't seen. And so there are all kinds of games, from very very basic to very accelerated, including things for high level athletes and that. So, and then the movement therapy, I'm not supposed to call it the gun, but the movement therapy is just phenomenal. I do a lot with frequencies. I'm doing it right now. Right? This is a wavelength that carries a frequency, and that. But they have the first gun that really, the frequency is for the proprioceptive system, your body sense. And so Melissa's shoulder, she could hardly lift her shoulder from an injury she had, and they got it almost all the way up, and it feels like it's not doing a lot, but it's doing a lot because it's doing the right thing. And as you know, and on my hip, I fell down the stairs. Do you remember when I fell down the stairs? It was quite a while ago, and hurt my hip pretty bad, and it's still giving me grief, especially in karate, because I do a lot of torquing on it. And he worked on my hip with it, and man, it was awesome. Then he worked on the other hip, and he had me do some movements, and I've never felt that kind of movement in my hips. I've always felt, because of my brain injuries, particularly, I feel like I'm floating, and from about my knees to about mid, and right at the bottom of the thoracic cage here, feel like it's stiff, and I don't know where it is, any of it. And all of a sudden I got all this movement on my hips. I go, whoa, holy crap!
Wonderful.
This is amazing, yeah. And so that we invested in all three of those, and so there'll be a new, there'll be a new lane of service. Each one will be its own lane of service in that. So, like, let's say I want to do just, I'm working on somebody's spinal system or shoulder or whatever, I can do just that. Whereas before, if you come in, I'm working on everything, and that, and so in it allows me, like I have one patient that we just started on that lane of service, and she can hardly move her joints, and she has horrible balance, and she has a limiting cognition, thinking. Well, cognition is the least effective. So we're gonna be doing all three, but the one will fall out first. Cognition will probably fall out first, and as we get better movement, we'll get better balance. And I'm assuming that the balance will be the next to fall out, where we're just working on the joints and that. So it's very, like I am, very goal oriented. And when we meet the goals, we're done, right? Or when we meet the goals and it facilitates a new goal, okay, we got this new goal, but we're doing something different now. And that. And so it fits all of that, you know, and it's longevity, and that's why we've actually added the name. You know, in the clinic, we got a new DBA along with it. We changed our logo. Have you seen that?
Yes, I love it. It's very good.
Yeah, and it overlays, you know, what we've already done. But when we looked back last night when we were talking about it, it's actually who we are.
Yeah.
You know, we're the longevity people, and that. So, and the blocks of care are much shorter, right? It's a twice a week. So if you're already seeing me for you know, something 3 days a week, 2 of those days you'll be doing those other therapies too, right? But we do that for 5 weeks.
Okay. Oh, that's it.
On the 7th visit, we re-eval, see where you are. Like, let's say we got you started on 2 blocks of care for balance, right? Where at the end of 7 days in the first block, we're going to reevaluate and take a look at where are we in that. And you know, I've got a couple of them that I think, as I'm working with them now, I think this is I only signed them up for 2 blocks. They're probably going to go into 3, but we'll know, right? Because at the end of that second block, and we do the evaluation at 7 days, we'll see, you know what, you're not there yet.
Right.
And that, plus we've added a thing called our club plan. And so getting a certain amount of care, you qualify, instead of doing it by the block, you can do it by joining a club.
Okay, that's very good.
So yeah, so that it's a whole new thought process, and that on the business side of it, but and yet it's the same. You know, it's the longevity stuff. So
I explain it as you are continuous. Basically, what you do, except for it's on the computer. It's so sensitive when you stand on it. It reads what part. It kind of brain maps you. The way you're falling, it knows which nerve and which part of the brain. And since you've already done that work physically, you can look at someone and see that. Now the computer is sensing it. Yep. And by you putting all of our information in there, it is going to the hive mind and training everything to make it smarter, bringing in all the information.
And I now actually have a contract with them, and that, because you know, they were showing it to me, and I said, well, that's how that works, and that's how that works, and they go, holy mackerel, you know, who are you, you know? And I said, have you ever tried this, or have you ever done that? So I have a contract to consult with them.
Good. And you're working with the VA.
Yeah, and we're looking at the VA. Do you like this one better, or do you like that one better?
The other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is VA approved, and so we're working on. We're most of the way through our certification process. Once we're certified, then we can actually take VA patients. The VA can refer them to us, and then the VA will take care of part of the bill.
That's great. And the doctors there can contact you and know what's happening with their brain.
Yep. And you know, I can explain even deeper within the brain. You know, this says this, and this is how we do it with the machine, but this is actually you know, what's going on from a neuroscience point of view. So I can work with the doctors, you know, on a deeper level.
Can you imagine if we could take that to a school and have everybody calibrated and just see and put all that information into the database?
Yeah.
We would find out so much information.
Yeah. Yeah. And I foresee that our clinic is going to be converting more to 50 plus people.
Yeah.
Where they're 50 plus.
Age-wise?
Age-wise, yeah. Almost all of them.
So you must be 50 and fabulous.
Yeah. You guys aren't there yet. So.
Yeah, right.
I mean, fab, yeah. But you got a long.
We've already
way to-
passed that boat. It sank.
that one didn't make it out of the harbor.
Yeah.
Did you ever read about is it Norwegian or Denmark? The king had this boat designed by the best boat builders in the world at the time. And then all of a sudden, everybody else had their own inputs into it. Oh, we think you should do this, and we think you should do that, and they had all kinds of, art and stuff in it because the boat was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started adding all this stuff, and the boat is at the bottom of the bay. It went.
Aww. With all the fancy things.
All those other people